side effects. Glyburide, anybody familiar with that? Other names include diabeta, glucovins, glycinase, micronase. Reported side effects listed in the physician's desk reference for this drug and its derivatives are increased risk of cardiovascular mortality. Glipizide. Other names include glipizide ER, glipizide, glucotrol XL, metaglip. Reported side effects listed in the physician's desk reference for this drug and its derivatives are increased risk of cardiovascular mortality. Metformin. This is the big guy, or one of the big guys. Other names include Actuplus with a small p, Avadamant, Glucophage, Glucovance, Pradamant, and Ryalment. The reported side effects listed in the physician's desk reference for this drug and its derivatives are lactic acidosis. That's when your body's secreting too much sugar in your muscles, and your muscles begin, or your organs start to shut down if it gets too severe. Increased risk of renal dysfunction. So you're taking this drug to control your diabetes, and the diabetes is already affecting your kidneys, and you're taking this drug and it's making your kidneys even worse. It even creates diabetes. So you're taking it for diabetes, but it's making diabetes worse. Congestive heart failure, hypoperfusion, which is decreased blood flow to your organs. Vitamin B12 deficiency, and countless others not listed here. Vitamin B12 is a vitamin that is perfect for digestion. It's in our bowel. It's the intestinal flora that sits in our bowel that helps us to digest and break down food so that it could be excreted out through our bowel. So once we start losing vitamin 12, and of course it has other functions, but that's one of the primary functions that it has. Avandia. The reported side effects listed in the physician's desk reference for this drug and its derivatives are increased risk of heart attack, increased risk of death from cardiovascular events. That includes heart attack, strokes, and what have you. Avandia continued. On the website of eMed TV, they have this to say about the side effects of Avandia. They said, although most people have no problems with taking Avandia, side effects are possible such as upper respiratory infections, headaches, or back pain. In most cases, side effects are minor and can be easily treated. However, there are several less common but more serious side effects that you should report to your healthcare provider, such as trouble breathing, a rapid increase in weight, or a vision change. They shortchange you. Check this out. Food and Drug Administration announced this came from the FDA. This is the same disclaimer or the same announcement that's on the website that I showed you earlier from eMed TV. This is the FDA announcement. Food and Drug Administration announced that it would be severely restricted the use of Avandia due to the risk of cardiovascular events such as heart attacks, strokes. Only individuals who cannot control their diabetes on other medications or on the other medications prescribed will be able to take Avandia. Did y'all know that? Y'all heard about these commercials? Where Avandia, they had lawsuits where they were trying to pull Avandia off the market. The fact is, Avandia has been linked to so many deaths and personal injuries. Family members of the deceased or injured victims have targeted the company GlaxoSmithKline for numerous personal injuries and wrongful death lawsuits. Unfortunately, instead of the drug being pulled from the market, our wonderful FDA compromised and agreed to only have a restriction, which is up here. GlaxoSmithKline. Remember that name. They produce, along with this company here, Takeda Pharmaceuticals, they produce the majority of the diabetic medications on the market. GlaxoSmithKline, they have a partnership with the American Diabetes Association. a gentleman who's going around the country now. His name is Dwayne McCullough. And his story is interesting. I know most of us have grown. I'm trying to make this real quick, but his story is interesting. I'm going to get this in. He ended up in jail. He ended up in the hospital with glucose levels of 1,400. Excuse me, 1,300. During his process, in his trial and tribulation with diabetes, he was threatened to have his legs amputated and everything else. Well, once he got out of the hospital, he's a biochemist, he worked with putting together a protocol that allowed him to get rid of his diabetes in a matter of about 3 months. The American Diabetes Association found out about it, requested that he as a volunteer come and speak on our diabetes and tell people who come to these lectures why and how he was able to get rid of the disease. He was doing such a good job when he was creating the protocol that people were, making rave reviews about his success. The Food and Drug Administration found out about it, contacted the American Diabetes Association and told him, you have to stop having your employee, which was Dwayne McClellan, telling the people that he cured diabetes because there's no cure for diabetes. And you can't tell the people, he cannot tell the people that. But nonetheless, he got rid of his diabetes. Well, nonetheless, he was pulled into the office of the chairman of the American Diabetes Association, and the American Diabetes Association told him that he was fired. Now, he was a volunteer, he couldn't fire him. And he asked, well, why are you firing me? Or why do you not want me to speak anymore? And he said, the chairman said, well, you're telling people who come to your lecture that you're curing diabetes. And he told him, you can't say that anymore. And he said, well, why? It's true. He said, because this company here, GlaxoSmithKline, they fund us. And if you keep telling the people that you are being cured or you're curing diabetes and the information gets out, then GlaxoSmithKline can't fund us anymore, so our organization is going to die. This is all about money. This is not about curing people or having people get rid of diabetes. This is all about money. Check this out. Since Avandia, the top-selling diabetes drug for many years, received so much negative press, a replacement drug was put on the market. That was Actose, the drug to replace Avandia. But the drug makers of Actose are being sued because it's causing bladder cancer. This drug is so dangerous that Germany and France took it off the market, but the United States still continued to push it. It seems that death and injury or even developing cancer while taking these two drugs is not strong enough to convince the FDA to remove these toxic drugs off the market. Fortunately, you have the power in yourself to do something about the diabetes condition. Take control of your life, as I said before, and take your health back. Saying how? Remember this quote? Everybody knows who Hippocrates was. Let medicine be your food and food be your medicine. I'm going to run through this real quick. Start with going green. Put more green vegetables into your diet. Green vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables, are some of the most potent detoxifiers and blood purgers on this planet. They're also super strong antioxidants. Additionally, the leafy green vegetables contain essential vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients in its blood, better known as chlorophyll. These superfoods are vital to our cell health. And why is green vegetables so important to our cells? That's a model of the human blood cell, human hemoglobin. That's a model of the plant cell, which is plant chlorophyll. Anybody notice different? Anybody notice something interesting? Don't they look the same? In the center of the blood cell is iron. In the center of the chlorophyll is magnesium. Magnesium and iron is steel and magnet. Magnesium is a magnet, iron is steel. That blood, the chlorophyll from your leafy green vegetables, is attracted by the iron in your blood, and that's how it's so beneficial, because those two merge together, and that's what helps that nutrient get into the cells. for the most beneficial foods for diabetics are to eat are broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, green beans. Broccoli has a high amount of vitamin C, helps to absorb iron, has potassium, and aids in hypertension and blood pressure, aids in cleaning the liver, strengthening the lungs, has beta-carotene as a precursor for vitamin A and enhances the GI tract. Brussels sprouts is rich in vitamin C, A, and E, contains quercetin and minerals that are effective as antioxidant, contains manganese, which helps with blood sugar control. It's an effective anti-inflammatory, contains polyphenol that reduces insulin resistance. Spinach contains vitamin K, vitamin A, and manganese, helps with blood sugar control, has enzymes that helps repair the GI tract, contains vitamin C and beta-carotene, and contains a high amount of magnesium, which helps regulate blood pressure. Green beans contains chromium, essential nutrients for fat and sugar metabolism, contains iron, calcium, magnesium, manganese, and potassium, which is vital for cardiovascular health. Contains vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin A, most of all the B vitamins, which is very essential for us. Other foods to eat to add to your diet are all sea vegetables, seaweed and spirulina, kelp, fruits, tomatoes, avocados, cucumbers. These are non-sweet fruits. Bitter melon. Bitter melon is good, but it has its name. It's very bitter. So when you eat that, you probably going to turn your face up. However, it has the capabilities of being able to digest, or to decrease the amount of sugar in your blood. Sweet fruits, blueberries, cranberries, goji berries, pomegranates, fats and oils, hemp oil, olive oil, walnut, sunflower, avocado, coconut, sweetness and spice, stevia, agave. Agave is good for people who's on diabetes. However, use it sparingly because it still will increase your glycemic index. But it's better than agave is better than maple syrup. It's better than honey, and of course, it's better than raw sugar. Cinnamon and cardamom, salts, septic sea salt and Himalayan salt, and kelp granules. We're still using Morton's iodized table salt. Get rid of it. It's a poison. Whole grains, quinoa, amaranth, long grain black rice, buckwheat, millet rice, nuts and peas. And this is just a guideline. I'm saying that everybody has to start eating these foods and get rid of all the other stuff, all the other foods that you'll be eating. We'll start to incorporate a lot of these foods into your diet. Replace sodas and sugary fruits and coffee and alcohol beverage with vegetable fruits, herbal decaffeinated teas, green tea, and fresh clean water. A nutritional supplement program should also be considered. Most diabetics are deficient in chromium, zinc, and magnesium. They have a low absorption amount of riboflavin, niacin. It's wise to find high-grade forms of these supplements to add to your diet. Vitamin C, bioflavonoids, vitamin B complex, vitamin E are the primary vitamin supplements. They're all vital for diabetics. And just as important to have a proper diet is also equally important to know what times to eat. Through the traditional Chinese medicine, they have a circadian clock that they use. They have been able to pinpoint when organs are at their peak performance, and they're all peak performance. Anybody who's diabetic, they're going to keep an eye on when the liver does most of its work, or does the majority of its work is at 1 and 3 in the morning. And the stomach has peak performance between 7 and 9 a.m. Between 7 and 9 p.m. or between 6 and 9, between 5 and 7 in the afternoon, that's the time when we want to eat. Because what that does, it gives us the most digestive time between the time when we eat our food up until the time that our liver does its function, because it usually takes about 6 hours to digest a meal. You do not want to eat a meal at 9 and 10 o'clock, because this interferes with the function of the liver. The function of the liver, as I said, has over 500 functions, so it has to do what it is designed to do within the hours of 1 and 3. If it doesn't complete, most of the time when the liver doesn't complete its cycle poorly. We wake up sluggish, we wake up tired, we wake up thirsty. That's because the liver had to go extra hard to try to complete its process, and it didn't get done effectively as it should. So try to eat between the hours of 5 and 7 in the evening. And finally, exercise. Do what you like and make it fun. Don't go out and try to run a marathon because people say run a marathon. Make sure that you're doing what you do and make it fun. Yoga, there's reggae, there's weight training, there's whatever. But whatever you do, try to bring some joy into it. And that's it. Learn all you can, teach all you can, and most importantly, know thyself. And thank you, everybody. I have to put my disclaimer up here. All information presented in this presentation is provided for your information only and may not be construed as medical advice or instruction for diagnosis of any disease. No action or inaction should be taken based solely on the contents of this information. Instead, consult appropriate health professional on any matter related to your health and well-being. I have to put that on there because now I'm official. Anytime somebody comes to me, I cannot say I'm going to cure your disease. I can't tell you I'm going to diagnose what's going on in your body because they cart me off the handcuffs. So, thank you everyone for showing up, and I have my business cards here. If anybody wants them.
You shut this off, Malik?
Shut.